Hello, viewers. My name is Zach Hardy, and this is the third episode of the Hardyac Questions and Answers series. My name is Zach Hardy, and as you can see, we have a new intro or a new title card here. Same Twitter at Zachary Sarah, same Twitter handle at Zachary Sarah, but instead of Unitars, it has Zach Hardy written on it. So you know that this is me, Zach Hardy. Today we're going to be answering 6 questions from 6 different people. And if you would like me to answer a question, the Hardyac Wrestling Podcast are for questions wrestling related, and the Hardyac Questions and Answers series is for questions not wrestling related. Please send them to, if you have any questions, not wrestling related questions, please send them to please send them to unitards@gmail.com. That's unitards with 2 Z's at the end at gmail.com. And please follow me on Twitter at Zachary Sarah for information on the channel, updates, whatever, so you can be filled in and you can be kept in on the loop for upcoming videos and whatever and whatnot. There you go. That's better. So, we got 6 questions. Further information, as it says in the description below. If you have the question, please send them to that email. But, letting you know, I will only answer 1 question out of each email. So, I will answer, excuse me, if you have 1 question in your email, I will answer that question. If you have 2 questions, I'll pick one of those questions to answer. And if you would like, you can take the question that I didn't answer and send that into a separate email, and I will answer that when I get around to it. But today we got 6 questions, and I'm trying to shorten down the time here. Last questions and answers series episode was 2.5 hours long, so I want to get it to be maybe 15-20 minutes long at least or at most. So let's get to the first question. Sarah K asks, what is your favorite sport, and when did you start watching it? Sorry. My favorite sport is American football. Of course, my favorite team is the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I started watching football around the age of 4, so around 2000, and I started watching it often, and I started watching it more often after I believe Super Bowl 43 between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Arizona Cardinals. That was the first game that I actually watched the full thing of, and I was sick, so I came down with a stomach bug, so I was sick on my birthday, and I was sick on Super Bowl Sunday, so whatever, drank ginger ale for the night. But I mean, the game was great. I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to learn a little bit more. So I learned about it during the off season, and then I started watching a few games in the next upcoming season, which I believe was the 2009 or 2010 season, I believe, if I am not mistaken. It may have been the 2009 season, but I believe in that season we had the Green Bay Packers beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, or it was the New England Patriots losing to the New York Giants. I don't know. It was one of those two, but the game was great, and I went on watching football. Of course, I liked the 49ers beforehand, so I stuck with the 49ers. I've lived in Connecticut all my life. I don't know how I became a 49ers fan, even though I'm all the way on the other side of the United States. I don't know how I even found out about the 49ers when I wasn't a regular football fan, but ever since the 2009 season, I've been watching football, so that's my favorite sport. I started watching it often after Super Bowl 43, and yeah, sadly, after the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Arizona Cardinals, they jumped to 6 rings. 49ers stayed at 5. They had a chance to catch up to the Steelers again. Didn't quite do it. Lost to the Ravens in their first Super Bowl loss in franchise history, and we are still stuck at 5 rings. And it looks like we're going to be staying that way for a few years, so whatever. Not going to complain anymore. Donald G asks, what is your biggest accomplishment outside of pro wrestling? My biggest accomplishment outside of professional wrestling. That's a hard one because I haven't really done much outside of professional wrestling. Well, I mean, I haven't done anything outside of wrestling and use that as an accomplishment and thought of that over anything wrestling related. Because usually when people ask me about my biggest accomplishment, it's not just biggest accomplishment outside of wrestling. People are playing basketball outside. It's usually just my biggest accomplishment in general, and then biggest accomplishment always steps into my mind as something wrestling related. Morbid versus Zach Hardy, WIW Hall of Fame, 23-time Extreme Champion, 5-time USW Champion, whatever. That's always what stepped in my mind, and I've never really been asked, or if I have, I haven't been asked too often what my biggest accomplishment outside of professional wrestling is. And I mean, let's be honest, I've been wrestling for almost 8 years now. So since what, 2008? Almost 8 years now. In January, it'll be 8 years. So I don't know. Probably buying a house. I will say that. I'll say that is my biggest accomplishment. I never lived in an apartment. I went straight to a house because that's what I could afford. Never went to a mansion. Probably wouldn't have been able to afford a mansion. Got a house. I will be paying for a car when I'm 20. I'll probably get a car when I'm 20. Probably start driving when I'm 20. So there's that. I for those of you who may ask, I've never really been. I never wanted to drive before the age of 20. I don't know why. I just thought 20 was the mature age and the age that I thought I could trust myself with a car, and I can. I think I could have trusted myself with a car years ago, but I'm just waiting to turn 20 so that way I can start driving lessons. I mean, I could start right now, but I think it was at the age of 14, I made a promise to myself that I would not get a driver's license until I turned 20. And for years now, I've been going on what I say, and I've been doing what I say, and I live up to what I say. When I say something, I mean it. So I remember that. For some reason, those were one of the biggest things that I remembered from my teenage years. And now, I mean, technically, I'm still a teenager. I'm 19, so for like 7 more months or whatever. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be worth it when I turn 20 and I get a driver's license. It's gonna be worth it because I will know, hey, I did exactly what I said I was gonna do, and now I'm gonna drive. So yeah, I could have fucking done that almost 4 years ago, but made a stupid promise. I don't think at 14 I was really thinking too much about my future, which is why I don't really know why I went along with that. But since I remember it, it's always stuck in my mind. And even though it's not part of the question, it always stuck in my mind. If I ever remember something from my past, I'm going to use that as something important. And I remember that from when I was 14. So I figured that's important. So you know what? I'm going to go along with what I say, what I said I was going to do. But I guess buying a house at this point in time is going to be my biggest accomplishment. Going from living in my grandmother's house to living in my own house here in Hartford. And then, I don't know, probably by the time I'm 22, 23, 24, maybe 25, I'm probably going to be moving to Rhode Island because I like it there. I love the coast down there. I love how small it is. I like how much cheaper everything is there compared to here in Connecticut. I just love Rhode Island. And yeah, so I love Rhode Island. That's probably what my biggest accomplishment will be sooner or later. Me moving from the place I was born in to the place that I've always wanted to live in. So for right now, it's buying a house, putting a or not putting, whatever, paying the bills, having running heat and having central air conditioning, having water, running water, having electricity, having Wi-Fi, and all this shit. I was able to do that, and I think when I go and move to Rhode Island, my biggest accomplishment will no longer be buying a house. That'll probably be a close second, but my biggest accomplishment will be moving to Rhode Island or moving to a new state. So that's probably going to be my biggest accomplishment. But of course, the house is my biggest accomplishment, and I don't think I can really think of anything else. So thank you, Donald G. Franklin L asks, what was the most important event in your life? Example, 9/11 and the Challenger. See, I was born in 96. So 9/11 was in 2001, so I was 5. I actually remember what I was doing in 2001. I was walking, I was with my babysitter, and I was just waking up from a nap. And I was talking to my babysitter about getting me, uh, I think it was a fucking banana or something, or an orange or something. And the TV was on, and I was just looking at the TV, and I saw a plane going into the building, and I saw a big orange black explosion. I was like, oh, that's cool. What's that? And let alone my babysitter, I think at 21, 22 years old at that point in time, was just sitting there trying to talk me through it because she knew I was probably going to ask my mother when she got home from work. So I think she tried to explain to me a little. And all I really remember from that point on in the conversation was it's just something that is bad that it happened and something is going to be done about it. So of course I was watching. Uh, I was down to one nap a day, I think. I don't know. From what my mother has told me before, I was down to one nap a day, and I just sat on the kitchen table, looking at the TV, watching the buildings implode, watching the stuff about the Pentagon and all that. So maybe 9/11 would be the biggest one. There were other things that weren't as big as 9/11. Kind of like I guess I mean these don't have to be the important life event or the important event in my life doesn't have to be a bad one or a tragic one. So I think maybe the landing of the plane on the Hudson River after it struck, I think, a group of pigeons or something, or seagulls or whatever. That was kind of crazy because at that point in time, I was, I think, fucking 13 or 14. So I remember what I was doing at that point in time. The Gulf Coast, not the Gulf, the Gulf of Mexico oil spill. The oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Um, fuck, I don't know. Um, I don't know. Um, I haven't voted yet. My my number one goal was always don't vote until you can vote for the presidential elections. I don't plan on living in Connecticut for my entire life, so I didn't want the first vote or elections that I wanted that I could vote in. I didn't want those first elections to be something that that was my first experience voting. I wanted my first experience voting to be something voting for presidential, whatever. So I guess my first time voting um, could be a big personal life event. I believe next year because I'll be 20. So and that's when the presidential elections will be. Um, I don't know. I guess 9/11. If I had to pick, well, maybe Hurricane Katrina. That could be a big one. I remember seeing coverage of that. I think I was 9 at the time. So, yeah, I was probably 9 at the time. And it was just mind-boggling seeing all the water. I thought it was the ocean. I just thought things were floating in the ocean. That's what the helicopter shots were. Uh, but yeah, crazy shit happens. And I think 9/11 was the biggest event in my life. Thank you, Franklin L. Patrick F. asks, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream? I'll make this short and sweet. I like Neapolitan, but if I had to pick one single flavor, I'd have to pick vanilla because I'm boring. Um, but I mean, Neapolitan, strawberry on the side, chocolate in the middle, and vanilla on the other side. That's always been my favorite. But if I had to pick one single flavor, that couldn't be a combination of all. Um, it'd probably be vanilla. Strawberry would be second. Thank you, Patrick F. Shawn M asks, what is the thing that you have ever been most interested in? I guess the Titanic could be one of them. Planets could be a big one. Um, I'm starting to get very interested in planets and everything. Titanic is a big one because I was researching the Titanic a shit ton when I was probably 14 or 15. And what else? Um, I don't know. I don't think there's anything else really. Well, you know what? Professional wrestling. That's the thing I've always been most interested in. So I'm gonna go with professional wrestling. Thank you, Shawn M. And finally, James T asks, "What is your favorite YouTube video that you have ever made?" Shit, I'm gonna go to my YouTube channel to check this one out. Let's go to YouTube. Let's click YouTube. Let's click my channel. I know exactly what I should do. Alright, let's go down the list. I should have room. Welcome to paradise. I mean, my favorite YouTube video, one of the big ones could be the SmackDown June 20th, 2014 review, We Want Roman. Because that, for a long time, that was my most viewed video. That was put up a year ago, or over a year ago. That's one of my favorites. And shit. Oh wow, I deleted a few videos. Oh yeah, those ones where I didn't realize I didn't have a mic plugged in, so it was just like. So that was pretty much all it was. Um, I'm looking at the first few videos that weren't wrestling related. I'll read you the titles, the ones that I made. Minecraft Let's Play number 1, Wool Adder, Minecraft episode number 1, Tour, Unicraft part 1 of many, Stop Staring at Me, Unicraft part 2 of many, Just Wanted to Say Goodnight, Thank You for My Whole Heart, Watching Craft Tomorrow, 11/11/13, Unicraft episode 3, season 1 update, Zach and Zach for first time ever, quick update, short blog, Unigiving is almost underway. Cat's confused by glass. I need some personal time. Someone will take my place. This channel is now for almost. I don't know. I guess I didn't finish that title. That's pretty much that. I guess. Well, I mean, my Unicraft series could be a very proud moment. Those are the first successful videos that I put out. So I guess I'll go with Unicraft. Because why fucking not? Yeah, that's that. That's what I'm going to go with. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. So it's either between the June 20th, 2014 Friday Night SmackDown review, or Unicraft Part 1 of many, or Stop Staring at Me, Unicraft Part 2 of many. That's that. That's pretty much it. Many videos that I'm very proud of, Chase put up, so, yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much that. So, thank you for the questions. I guess I'll give you one more clear answer. June 20th, 2014 SmackDown review, or the 2 Unicraft videos that I put up on YouTube. That's those. So guys, thank you for watching. Thank you to Sarah K, Donald G, Franklin L, Patrick F, Shawn M, and James T for their questions. If you have any questions, let me tell you one more time. Also, well, first follow me on Twitter at Zachary Sarah for updates on my channel and everything. And sooner or later, I will be taking questions from for the podcast and the question and answer series off of Twitter. So just stay tuned for that. For right now, it's still on email though. And if you have a question, wrestling related for the Hardyac Wrestling Podcast, or non-wrestling related for the Hardyac Questions and Answers series, send them to unitards@gmail.com. That's unitards with 2 Z's at the end at gmail.com. And put the subject as Hardyac Wrestling Podcast or Hardyac Questions and Answers, and I will answer the questions that I get in the next episode of the Hardyac Questions and Answers series, or the Hardyac Wrestling Podcast. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. One quick thing, the questions, wrestling-related questions for the Hardyac Wrestling Podcast, I may get to more of them on the podcast. I will probably get to more questions for the podcast than I will get done for the questions and answer series. But anyway, this questions and answer series probably is not going to be a weekly thing. I'm probably just going to try to get done questions and everything. So it probably won't be every day. It probably won't be every so often or every couple minutes or whatever. It's probably going to be a couple days, whatever. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe for more. My name is Zach Hardy, signing off. I'm sorry, let me redo that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe for more. I'm Zach Hardy, signing off.